Podcast. I've kept it quite formal with these weeks. Usually I'm not this formal on our intros.
I don't know whether you can imply that you kept it formal whilst immediately going on a tangent straight into this episode.
Well, I mean, all up until the last episode, I guess. This is our predictions episode. I'm Luke Costin, and I am joined by Daniel Checkley. I'm just going to get the obvious point out of the way. Checks is still not sang.
Yeah, I knew this was going to come up. I knew. I listened to the last episode to figure out what our predictions was.
Yeah.
And as soon as I listened to it, I was like, oh, this is going to come up again. We are still in lockdown, okay? There is a virus out there, Luke.
Look, it didn't stop those. It didn't.
No. It's my turn to speak. It is my turn to speak. I've got other priorities, okay? There is a virus out there. I don't have the equipment in my house to pull off something as beautiful as a song, a most unwanted original song. It would be a dishonor to our fans to do that in this situation. When I have the option, I will do it. But for now, I don't want to hear any of this, oh, he's letting people down. No. You are sowing a narrative that is untrue, my friend.
All I'm saying is it didn't stop those lovely celebrities from singing a song about imagining what the world's going to be like. This pandemic didn't. So I feel like, mate, I'm going to change it. You should just do an Imagine version.
Do you think it'll be as tone deaf as those?
Well, we don't live in mansions, so it's not as bad.
Oh God! Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll do it in the format. It'll just be each line's a different clip of me holding my phone in different areas of the house.
Imagine there's no X-Files, basically, just seeing stuff like that. The real nightmare. Again, I don't want to get bogged down into the weeds of that. I thought I'd bring it up as just our end of month reminder or end of season reminder.
I'm sorry for getting so animated.
So that really chapped your chops there, didn't it?
Oh, you know how to wind me up, Luke.
But anyway, this is our predictions episode. So we make predictions every season, and then the following season we see how accurate we are, how wrong we are, and then we also make some predictions to take into the next season to do it all over again at the end of the next season.
We certainly do. We break it up into two categories.
Yes.
Overall predictions for the entirety of the X-Files. And we also do next season's predictions. So we'll be predicting what happens in season 6 before watching it, obviously.
Yeah.
It would be remiss for me to leave out the fact that I hands down won last season's prediction game. I didn't get any of the overalls, but all of my season predictions came off. Every single one of them.
Did they kiss? I can't remember. I wrote these down, and I'm like, I don't think he's got any of these.
No, not this season's. When I was predicting, I won last season's.
Oh, I see. Yes,
all three I got right.
Right.
This, I want that to be clear. When none of my predictions come off in this season.
Right, okay, yeah. That's fine. Because I was just looking at your predictions, I was like, I don't know if you did get them all. Like, I think we're going to have a bit of a disagreement here. Well, let's not spoil anything. Let's get into our last season predictions. Shall I start with my picks?
I would quite like to start with the overall season predictions. I mean, you're hosting the show and I'm taking a liberty. But it would be nice and easy for me to say, still nothing right. I think season 1, I predicted Mulder will get abducted, Mulder and Scully will have a one-night stand, and Scully will get a long-term boyfriend at some point.
Yeah.
None of those have come off.
Yeah.
Once again, I am rolling over. I'm not doubling down. I'm not tripling down. I'm not quadrupling down. I'm quintupling down.
You're going to have to
This
learn
is the last time.
Yeah.
If I fail this season, I'm rewriting the list, and I swear, if season 7 holds the answer, holds the key to unlock the door to my success, I am going to be fuming.
Well, there's somebody listening now that is either like telling you don't do that or absolutely pissing themselves laughing because they know that you're going to scarper yourself there. Yeah, I mean,
if there is anyone out there, I am going to say this right now. If there is anyone out there that has any love for me whatsoever, then you can find me on Twitter, Daniel Checkley. And what I'll say is this: certainly do not DM me and tell me to keep those predictions if they happen in season 7. That would be against the rules of this show, and so therefore I do not condone that. However, I will say you have that right.
Checks' DMs are open. So he's saying. My overalls, I also think, are still up in the air. So I predicted that Cigarette Smoking Man is Mulder's dad. Still a possibility. Still don't know at this point. I predicted that Mulder and Scully will be a couple. I think I made the prediction that it's going to start happening from now. On the last episode, I can't remember. It's been a while.
That was the case, and that is not the case in reality.
But yeah, nothing happened there. And I also predicted a prediction that neither of us want to come true, that Skinner will die.
Thankfully, not true.
Thankfully, not true. But much like you, I think I'm going to roll them all over again. I feel like they're strong ones to just keep in the overalls.
I certainly would agree, and that puts us nicely at a nice 0-0 score for this season.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think that's going to change.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. So, this season's predictions, or last season's predictions. Do you want to start with what you predicted?
Yes, I will. I predicted Mulder and Scully will kiss.
Okay.
I knew this was a dangerous one. I knew that I was toying with the fates when I picked this one, because we all know this is going to happen. This is inevitable. I wanted to beat you to the punch, though. I wanted to get it in before you did, and I thought season 5 might be the time that they pull the trigger. And they did, multiple times. However, they cut it out. We've known from production notes that actually in some of these episodes they did share a kiss, but they decided that it wasn't the right time, as if to just screw me over.
Proactively in the future. They knew there was like, somebody's going to make a prediction about this and we're going to screw him royally.
Exactly. But I thought, you know what? We've still got the film. And that's going to be absolutely fine. They are bound to kiss in the film if it wasn't for one goddamn bee.
Yeah, that bee holds extra significance against you now.
I hate bees, Luke. And that one bee ruined my entire chance to get any points from this prediction.
Well,
this is my first fail for last season.
Well, yeah, this is your first nil point. You, if this was Eurovision, you'd be going home just with embarrassment in your eyes.
No, if this was my first Eurovision, I'd be waving my flag while sadly smiling towards the camera.
Yeah. As no one is giving you a point.
Everyone's
a winner. My predictions from last season. My first one, I'm going to say that probably didn't come off, as I predicted that something from another dimension would be involved in an episode. I don't think that happened.
No, I think that's a we can wipe that one off. That did not happen. At least not to our knowledge, but then it has to be to our knowledge.
Yes.
That's the way this show works.
Yeah, because we can't actually go on what is real. We just go on what we think is real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty certain Mulder and Scully have kissed in between episodes.
Well, what a sneaky kiss that they're not sharing with everybody else, like the voyeurs we are. My second prediction was that Marita will die. I sort of had this belief that every informant that they had would just cark it at some point during that series, or the series after. That didn't happen. She's still alive and kicking.
We had a surprisingly low amount of Marita this season.
Yeah.
I expected her to be involved a lot more than she was, the same way that X was, and to an extent Deep Throat as well. Just not been the case. And so, much like we said last season, I feel like there's a lot more to her story, and maybe we'll find that out next season.
A quick, like, I don't know if it's a question, but sort of, what happened? No, what happened to her after she got attacked by the goo guy, the black oil guy? Did we not find out what happened after that?
She got cured. She got the vaccine.
Yes, yeah.
We assume she's cured, but that's the last we've seen of her.
Yes,
I will not accept that as a death.
No, I wouldn't have accepted that anyway. Because as we all know from watching many an EastEnders episode, if you die off screen, you ain't dead.
Exactly. So that's another nil point for you. My second one was Skinner will be fired as director for a period of time. Did not happen.
No.
Sadly, I was way off the mark again. Just not even close to happening.
Yeah.
I think actually what I meant was Skinner will be fired as Mulder and Scully's director, and that did happen. So I'm going to give myself a point for that one.
Well,
because he no longer directs Mulder or Scully. So 1 point to me.
I feel like you're taking some liberties there.
No, that's 0 points, sadly.
And my final one, which now we have to agree on this one, because I think I said that a part of the X-Files episode would be in the UK. I don't know if I specifically said Mulder and Scully would travel there, or if we would just be in the UK.
I've come prepared for this.
Is this a point or not?
I think... Do you remember last time we did this episode where we had a flashback to the previous episode?
Yeah.
I think we did another flashback.
So, I don't know why, but I'm going to take a shot in the dark. There's going to be an episode next season where they travel somewhere in the UK.
As is clear, you specifically said they will travel, and I am sure when you said they, you was referring to Mulder and Scully. I do not think this counts.
No,
they was in England for a hot minute in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think... And that wasn't Mulder and Scully. That was Well-Manicured Man.
Yeah.
I do not think this counts. Sadly. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the evil villain of the show.
The stickler.
That does not count.
I think listening back to it, I think it wasn't explicit enough that... I should have just said a portion of the X-Files episode or film would be...
What a boring prediction, though.
Yeah.
I reckon next season we will see a park.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think I'm in agreement there. I was close, but no cigar, as they say.
They do say that. Don't worry, though. You're not the only person to strike out in your predictions. My last and final prediction was Cancer Man will save Mulder and Scully from death at some point. I'm going to argue in vain that Cancer Man multiple times tells people not to kill Mulder to make him a martyr. However, I would completely understand if you don't accept that.
Yeah, I heard that reasoning, and I also thought I could see you making an argument for it, but I feel like it's I feel like
I definitely meant it more directly when I said it.
Yeah, it has to be a bit more. He literally intervenes.
How about this though? How about I switch my argument around to try and convince you? Because the problem that we now face as a podcast is legitimacy. We have got 0 points from overall season and season predictions. If none of us get a point, what reason has anyone got to listen to this podcast at all? We don't know what we're talking about. Unless you give me that point and then there's some sort of legitimacy put onto this show via you. And you're basically the saviour of the show by letting me win.
No. This will be this is going to be a 0-0 draw. Everyone's been to a match where you've got your high hopes that something interesting will happen, and then they just both park the bus for 90 minutes,
I feel like our American audience, that is the one reason they mostly do not like soccer, is because a 0-0 draw is possible.
Yeah, and I feel like we've both experienced the 0-0 draw, and both times you just think, well, that was 90 minutes of my life I will never get back. Luckily,
Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Luckily, we're only 15 minutes into this episode, so this is where we perk everyone back up, because in this episode we don't just give results, we give predictions. So,
our overalls are all rolling over.
Yeah.
It's next season.
Yeah, so yeah, we're both rolling over our overalls. Do you want to give me your first prediction for next season?
I do. I've got to get these points. I'm starved of these points. So I have gone a little bit safe.
Okay.
I don't know whether you're going to allow this. My number one prediction for season 6.
Mulder and Scully will appear.
Okay, I'm going to strike that one off.
Guaranteed point.
Krychek will betray the syndicate.
Okay. That is quite safe, but hey...
But I'm not talking about just appearing on the other side like he has been. I'm talking about actively betrays, like does something to screw them over.
Yeah. It's a fine pick. Sometimes you have to go for the easy points every now and again, and it's not so simple that it's like, oh, come on. Like you said, if you said Mulder will appear, as I mentioned, it's just like, come on. But now I feel like...
until my second pick, Luke. I am going to have to do some sweet talking to get this past you.
Very gamey. I feel like you're playing it at this point. I'll keep it short on mine. My number one prediction is a repeat from last time. I'm going to go with something from another dimension will appear. Okay. I feel like X-Files is this type of program where it can do these kind of things. Like, it doesn't have to be overt. They're not going to have something like materialize in from another dimension, but it could be like, oh, this is from the fourth dimension. Something spooky like that.
I'd like to see an alternate Mulder and Scully.
Or maybe, yeah. It's a parallel universe. Yeah, who knows? We could see those things, but I'm going to stick with that one just because I feel like that's a good bet.
I think that's risky, but I think your bravery should be encouraged.
Yeah. 2 points?
1 point. Speaking of bravery, my number 2 prediction: cigarette smoking man will this season be revealed to be Mulder's dad.
Now, that's fine, because I've got this pick as well. So I can't...
Okay. There is a caveat.
Okay.
I'm all about honesty.
Yeah.
And I have, not purposely for this show, but I have seen episode titles from season 6.
He's my dad. Is that one of the episode titles?
Okay, so we know that cigarette smoking man has professed to be Spender's dad, right?
Yeah.
There is 2 episodes in next season, and I don't want this to be a spoiler for you, because I don't know what they're about.
Yeah.
But the first episode is called Two Fathers, and the second episode is called One Son. To me, I'm using my noggin, and I'm using my head, and I'm thinking there's a swerve coming here, and Mulder is going to be revealed to be the true son of cigarette smoking man. Will you still allow me to have this prediction?
Do you know what? I'm all about the fun. So yeah, sure, you can have that, because I'll get a point as well. So it's kind of point. It's kind of like no loss.
It's a win-win.
Win-win all round, yeah.
Or lose-lose.
Or we'll draw one again if you get all right. My second prediction, and now this is where I've changed my predictions for the next 2. Because I did initially put travel to the UK ? And I just thought, I'm not going to rehash that one. They might travel to the UK, but this season ones, you have to change them every now and again.
You do. You have to change it up.
You got to keep them fresh. So my prediction, and I feel like this is also a safe one, is that Scully will have a side effect to being stung with this virus, or the vaccine that she's been given will falter and she'll somehow succumb to this illness again at some point.
Yeah, I like it. You mentioned as we were watching the film that they did concentrate on the fact that it was a test virus.
Yeah.
Test vaccine, should I say.
Yeah.
So I do like it, and I feel like that is a strong prediction.
I feel like it's the way they kept saying weak vaccine, was just like, they wouldn't specifically say that if it didn't have some kind of... Everybody listening at home is like, he's fixating on that way too much. But I feel like when they throw stuff out like that in like screenwriting, you're taught to cut words, you know what I mean, to make things more like poignant, snappy and whatnot. So the fact that they left that in there, I feel like that's for a reason. And yeah, I'm predicting that at some point this is going to all come down.
Okay. I've gone a little bit more risky with my last prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I was going again. I was toying with going safe. I was toying with going with Mulder and Scully kiss again. However, I'm going to go for my third and final prediction for season 6. I'm going to go that Skinner is going to go on the run for a period of time. Now, last season, I said that he would be fired for a period of time. This season, I think he's going to be actively on the run from the Syndicate. Mm-hmm. And this is my theory behind it. The Syndicate now have tried to shut down the X-Files so many times. We know by the end of the film that the X-Files have been reopened. What is the one thing that keeps fighting for the X-Files? It's Skinner. He's that guy in between, and I feel like they're going to go after him. But I don't think they'll kill him. That's the thing, because Skinner's such a good character. I don't think they'll kill him now. So I almost think the only option is he goes on the run, they try and get him, and he has to sort of get away. And I think for a few episodes, maybe, we'll see Skinner actively trying to evade the Syndicate. That's going to be my prediction.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that'd be an interesting like sort of power dynamic, because that like their one sort of liaison, I suppose, in the bureau is faltering. Yeah, that'd be interesting, sort of.
And it would be an interesting turn for the Syndicate to like actively show their hand, like actively go against the FBI. Do you know what I mean? And not just sort of like the foot soldiers of the FBI. It's like the boss. We're the powerful ones. We're the ones with the power.
Yeah.
I think it's a risky one. I don't think it probably won't happen. But going through my reasoning, I think it's more like it's happened than he gets fired or he dies. So I'm going to go with that.
Hey. Well, one of those may happen, but we'll see. My final prediction, and as you mentioned earlier that you'd saw an episode title that informed your decision.
You sly dog, have you done the same as me?
Now, I remember a while ago someone sent us a picture, because we were talking about the Terminator, of the Terminator himself, not Arnie, the T-1000, appearing in the X-Files. I was like, okay, that's interesting. Why would they get such a big named actor in the X-Files? And maybe they'll get him for a bit role. I think not. My third prediction, is that the X-Files will recruit another agent. So there's a story reasoning for this as well.
Okay.
So they got disbanded and now they've been reopened, I guess, with more evidence than ever that something is going on here. Skinner's going to have their backing. If there's a big issue that needs to be tackled, they need a bigger task force to tackle this.
Yeah, I see that.
So I think, and it might not even be Terminator himself. It might be somebody else. And that might be a complete red herring that he's just a one-off character in an episode. But I
have seen pictures of him, and it certainly does look like he's front and center in Mulder's place almost.
Yes, yeah.
So I think this is a clever prediction.
So I'm guessing that they're going to hire somebody. They're going to expand. The X-Files is going to get bigger, because you can't have a two-person operation all the time. You got to bring in some new blood into this operation. So that's my prediction, and it has to be this season. I guess.
I want to narrow it down.
Okay.
So what are we talking here? Are we talking somewhat that they hire new people to work with Mulder and Scully? Or are we talking they hire someone to replace Mulder and Scully, or one of the two? I
say work with. I wouldn't say an outright replacement, but
okay.
I reckon it sort of expands it as well, because they've sort of... They mentioned in the production notes that, like, obviously Mulder wants to be... not Mulder. David Duchovny wants to be closer to his wife. You can imagine, like, after 5 seasons, they're probably going to be like, I kind of want, like, a few episodes off. So if they get a new person in who's in the X-Files, maybe on a rotating basis, they can be like, oh, this guy is like in, and I don't know.
It certainly would add a new dynamic to the show. So yeah. Okay, very interesting. I like it.
That is my prediction. But we shall see if that comes true. We shall see if all of those come true. And everyone listening at home that's already watched this is already completely aware of who's making a fool of themselves at this point, which is always the interesting part. But if you have if you're watching along with us and you've never watched the X-Files before, and you have any predictions, let us know. What are your predictions for the seasons to come? It's always interesting to hear what everybody else is thinking. So, yeah, get in touch with us on Twitter, on our email address. All of the contact details are in our podcast notes below. Yeah. But that's the end of season 5. It's been a good one, been an interesting one.
Been a ride.
It has been a ride indeed. It's been our first fully pandemic recording. We've had no recordings in person. So that's another prediction. Maybe we will record in person.
That would be nice. I mean, I remember us toying with the idea of maybe starting the season in person.
Yeah.
That did not work.
That's why I'm not making that claim that that's definitely going to happen. We know how unpredictable this is.
We can't guarantee that at this point. Obviously, so we are going to go on a break now. We're not sure for how long, but maybe a month or two. And maybe when we get back, hopefully, if we can and the rules allow it and when it works, we should be back into recording in person, which would be nice, man. Yeah. Because I do miss just being able to sort of having a reason to just sort of come on and hang out for a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was, let's be honest, that's majority of the reason why we started this podcast is because we wanted to do something just to have a laugh and just to enjoy. And so being able to sort of do it in person again would be very, very cool.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee whether it'll be the first episode. I can't guarantee whether it'll be the last. But if we can, we will. Just let that be known. And fingers crossed. Hopefully you've not minded me sounding like I've been on the phone for the majority of this season.
Because in actuality, he is on the phone.
That is what's happening. I mean, I am Skype calling in.
I mean, to be honest, I think anyone who listens to any podcast at this moment knows that everyone's kind of doing the same thing right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we make the best of what we've got, don't we?
Yeah. And we've continued, and I'm hoping that we've sort of helped people, sort of have an hour off every week from whatever's going on. Maybe just talk and just think about the X-Files. So, we will be back. We will let you know when. Follow us on Twitter is the best place. We'll
update you when we're going to release the first episode of the new season.
Yeah,
but we might even put like a 5-minute trailer just to sort of so everyone has a bit of knowledge of like when we're coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, if there's anything else that you want to send in, just send it through on Twitter, because I always like, in these breaks, if people find anything. I know recently people have been sending in just like old production stuff, photos.
Behind-the-scenes footage. Yeah, they're always the best.
Yeah, so if there's anything that you see that you'd think, oh, they might get a kick out of this, just send it over to us. We'll always comment back on Twitter. And on email now, I'm trying to check it more often. We tend to not get much but junk at the moment. That's probably our neglect of it that's not helped there. But yeah, if you do send anything, I'll try and give a reply on the email as well. But that's the end of this season. We'll wrap it up now. Thanks for listening, and we will speak to you some other time.
Speak soon.